Alright, hey guys, welcome back to Teal House Farm, and we have a sad story to tell. We had some chickens snatched, and we'll show you what happened, and you tell us what you think did it. I think maybe it was a raccoon, Sam said maybe a fox, whatever it was really smart. We're going to show you how it got our chickens, and then I have 3 thoughts on maybe how we can protect them better. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Okay, so our chickens were double protected. We have this electric Premier 1 fence, plus they were locked in that coop, so there's 2 barriers that have to be overcome. So whatever got in here first dug under the fence. So one of the things we don't like about the Premier 1 fence is that the bottom wire is not hot. So something really smart can figure out that if they go under, they do not get shocked. The fence is very hot. We did test it to make sure that, it wasn't just the fence is plugged in, but it's not hot. Like, that's not the problem. Fence is very hot. Something was smart enough to know that if they go under, they don't get shocked. Our goats have been smart enough to figure that out too, which is why we do not use Premier 1 fencing with our goats at all anymore, because they figured they could nose it up and get out, and then once they know that, there's no keeping them out, which is probably the same story with this animal. So it dug under the fence. Our second line of defense is supposed to be these geese, and the geese give 2 hoots about themselves and the ducks, but apparently didn't give 2 hoots about the chickens and let whatever get in just do its thing. So the chickens were locked in this coop. We had just moved them up here from the brooder. The coop has this real tough woven wire, so it really does a good job. You can't really pull this open to get in. So whatever it was smart enough to dig under the coop and drag out 2 of our chickens. I think it was a raccoon for 2 reasons. One, raccoons are super smart. They also have flexible thumbs. They're good grabbers. I feel like maybe that hole there is too big for a fox. The foxes are pretty small, so I could be wrong. The other reason is so this happened while we were gone. While I was gone, Sam was home, and he obviously noticed there were 2 chickens missing, and so he took care of it for me while I was gone. So this is about a week ago, and 2 days ago, there was a raccoon that was out in the middle of the street, got hit in the middle of the night by somebody driving, and I wonder if that was him coming back to see if he could get another taste. That time the chickens were gone, so there wasn't anything to get, but I kind of wonder if that was our culprit and he has met his demise. But as Sam always says, where there is one raccoon, there is many, so it's just a matter of time before his friends come looking for dinner. So what are we gonna do about it? Well, I feel like there are 3 solutions to the problem. The temporary solution right now is we moved the 4 surviving laying chickens back to the brooder, which isn't a good long-term solution because it's dark in there. There's no sunlight really. It's not very big. They're chickens. They need to be out in the sunshine on the pasture, right? That's why we do what we do. Happy chickens, happy eggs. But it's apparent that the geese and the ducks, especially the geese, don't have any interest in protecting the chickens like they do themselves against predators, so they are no longer going to be the guard dogs. Maybe it would have been different if they had been raised with these chickens, and maybe that's some way we could do that differently next time, but we were trying to incorporate the flocks together, and apparently they don't care about the chickens. So solution-wise, we cannot leave them in the brooder. That's not a good solution. So the first suggestion was we just move this paddock. This paddock is kind of easy pickings. It lines right up against the woods, so something can come from the woods real easy under the fence to the coop. You don't have to cover a lot of open area that might detract an animal from wanting to try to run across like an open lit area. So we could pick up this, however big this pasture is. I think it's like 1/2 or 3/4 of an acre. It's pretty large. We got a couple fences connected. And we would move it. On the other side of the truck is our goat and sheep field, which is fenced in. So we would put the paddock inside the goat and sheep field, so there would be 3 layers of protection: an electric goat and sheep fence, an electric chicken fence, and a coop. The paddock is also wide open, so something can't really sneak out of the woods. They'd have to cross a lot of open space, which can detract some animals because there's no easy hiding from anything, and you could see them coming a mile away. The problems with this option is, one, it's an incredible amount of work. It's a big paddock, it's got a lot of stuff in it. These geese are not going to be easy to catch. They're also kind of aggressive. I don't know that I want to try to catch them, so that's that option has some downsides. The other downside too is there's no good water access to that field. We would have to haul water every day, which would get to be a pain. Next option is bring the chickens back to this coop and to add a bottom to the coop so that it cannot be dug under. I thought about using more of this, I think you call it woven wire. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's real sturdy, and we would staple it up here, and it would go all the way across the bottom so that it's basically impossible to dig under the coop because there's a floor to the coop. And then still we would put, you know, shavings and fresh straw and things down so that it was nice and neat, and so the chickens could free range during the day, and then we would lock them back in the coop at night. Positive being all of our ducks and chickens and geese are together in one paddock, which means one set of chores. Negatives being, I still think whatever our culprit is, he or his family members might try to come back and just terrorize our chickens. It's just kind of like inviting trouble back, but maybe after several tries of knowing they can't get in, they'd give up. I don't know. The other big positive is the animals that are here keep this area of our lawn mowed down for us, so we don't have to mow. If we move this paddock, then suddenly we have to mow this, which is also another chore. The last option brings us back around the corner here to the brooder where it is now. And the idea is that we would free range the chickens during the day, and they would be locked in the brooder at night. The brooder is where they've been since they were like, oh, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks old, so a long time. It's down there. So right now they're locked in that shed. Obviously you can see there's no windows. It's impenetrable, which means we've never lost a chicken. Well, it's not true. We lost one chick once to a snake. It was a baby chick. But other than that, we've never lost a chicken to anything. It is a great coop, but there's no natural sunlight, so it's not a good idea to just have them in there always. I don't know that we could relocate the ducks and the geese over here easily. Maybe the ducks, but the geese would be kind of a pain. Because I think they'll be very hard to catch. So we would end up with 2 different paddocks of birds. Also, I don't think this electric fence will keep the chickens in, which means they will be free range. They'll be out in the yard during the day and there at night. We've done that before. It's great in the sense that it cuts back on feed costs. It's a negative in the sense that they poop on everything, and like the kids' swing set, on their bikes, on their outside toys, and so that is a hassle. It's a sanitary hassle, and it gives me more chores over the clean things. But they're already trained to this coop. They'll go back in at night. We lock them up at night. And maybe, I mean, this fence is hot. It's a goat fence. My thought was maybe if we clip the chickens' wings so they can't fly, maybe there's enough of fence here that they'll get zapped and be scared of it. I don't know about that. It's still pretty big gaps, even for a chicken. I don't know that we could keep them contained. And the other negative is right now this is part of the goat pasture. We have plenty of pasture. The goats don't need this, but we would have to lock this off to them, which means it won't be getting mowed down in the rotation. I don't think 4 chickens will keep that knocked down. So again, we end up with another mowing chore because you don't want real tall grass right next to where the kids are going to be playing or the house because it invites snakes. So those are our 3 options that I feel like we have right now. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe I'm not thinking of an option. For those who know that we have a dog, keeping our dog outside is not a good option at night. She is not a guardian livestock dog. She is a pet. I don't think she would do anything to stop anybody, and I think it would make her really sad to be locked out of the house at night when she's so used to being cozy and cuddled. So, and getting another dog at this point isn't a good option. We are not looking for any solutions that are expensive. Sam still needs to finish school. He's real close. We have several months still until he starts his new job. So we're kind of in a holding pattern, trying to solve things without spending bucks, or not more than 20 bucks. So love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.